Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first video of 2024 that will be posted to the channel. We already have some big news to go over. Tesla never fails to surprise us, and well, this one I've been waiting for a while now. This refreshed Tesla Model 3 was spotted with Shanghai badges, but the VIN shows it was built in Fremont, F factory designation. Maybe we will see deliveries in Q1 as called by Scott's Blazer. And here you can see, he says, I learned from a Tesla employee at the Fremont factory on Friday that they have already retooled. Expect an announcement in January and on market by March for the refreshed Model 3 Highland. These are some images of what looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 at least Model 3's Highlands that are marked engineering vehicle and have Tesla Shanghai badges. This is outside of Fremont. But what I have noticed even as of recently, I did spot the first Highland on the highway here in Michigan. So maybe someone separately transported their vehicle from China to here. I don't know, but I've already seen a Highland on the road. So we'll see if we can actually start cranking out some of these vehicles. Do you know what also started today? The point of sale rebate. For those curious, Tesla is allowed to give the $7,500 federal point of sale EV rebate directly to its customers, even though it doesn't own any traditional dealerships. The IRS specifically states manufacturers who sell directly to consumers can apply and use it. This means you can use the federal incentive as a cash discount at the point of sale, starting today. Tesla says on its Cybertruck configuration page that the Cybertruck is likely to qualify for the federal EV tax credit later in 2024. The $80,000 Cybertruck all-wheel drive is expected to be eligible for $7,500, but it's not currently on sale yet, which is why the IRS doesn't list it. As you can see so far, the Cadillac Lyriq, the Blazer EV, Chevy Silverado EV, Ford E-Transit van, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, the Nissan Leaf, the Tesla Model 3 rear-wheel drive and long range, and the Volkswagen ID4 have all lost eligibility for any of the federal tax credit. Optimistically speaking, hopefully Tesla can change some form of their manufacturing process to make the Model 3 rear-wheel drive and long range still applicable for the $7,500 tax credit. In other pretty big news, Tesla China is welcoming the new year with a series of promotions. Customers who purchase a new Model 3 rear-wheel drive that's been produced in January 2024 could receive an RMB $6,000, which equates to $847 insurance subsidy if they take delivery by the end of the month. And the Tesla Model Y becomes Sweden's best-selling car overall, despite the ongoing strike. Sawyer Merritt points out that fewer than 100 million Americans had a $7,500 tax burden and were able to take tax advantages of the full EV tax credit in 2023. And that has now changed. About 150 million Americans will be able to use the full $7,500 point of sale EV rebate starting here today. So a much wider crowd, if you will be able to benefit from this. There are income limitations like $300,000 for married couples filing jointly, $225,000 for head of households, and $150,000 for all other filers. And it is still yet to obviously be seen if this will help Tesla's numbers, if this will encourage more people to buy EVs or to buy a Tesla, but I don't see how this could hurt at all, especially as rates come down. Well, this should make the monthly payment even more affordable. Gary Black shares this: the Tesla IR team compiled consensus for Q4 deliveries that is 480,500, which implies a full year 2023 total of 1.805 million. Tesla will report Q4 deliveries before the market opens coming tomorrow. And this is from Martin Visha, the head of investor relations. And here you can see all the different firms and banks that have given their estimates. Bard, Barclays, Bernstein, Bank of America, Canaccord, Citibank, Cowen, Dewana, Deutsche Bank, Evercore, ISI, all kinds of different firms. Basically, most firms you can think of. Gary Black thinks that if Tesla just prints at least 480,000 Q4 deliveries on Tuesday, that Tesla stock is going higher. So if I'm correct, Tesla stock is going way higher. My estimate is around 510,000 deliveries. We have seen some analysts like Piper Sandler's Alexander Potter come out at 507,000 deliveries, but we are definitely on the higher end. And I think it really all comes down to the US. Everyone knows what the numbers are basically going to look like for China, for Canada, for Europe, and for the rest of the world. We just don't know about the US. If the US had a strong quarter, if people wanted to take advantage of the $7,500 tax credit, then we could come in higher than even my estimate. It really comes down to how was the US. If you look at inventory levels still in my local area, I live in Michigan. I'm pretty far from California. I'm pretty far from Texas, right? So maybe it's a little bit different for my area here in Michigan, but the inventory in this quarter alone has fallen a lot. Like it's basically gone. So that's a pretty good sign, at least from the data that I can construct, that we're going to have a good number. Gary Black says we could see Tesla realign its US pricing matrix as soon as this week to fix the distortions caused by losing the $7,500 EV credit on Model 3 rear-wheel drive and Model 3 long range, which, if left unchanged, would lead to Model 3 rear-wheel drive and long range being priced above respective Model Y rear-wheel drive and long-range trims, and Model 3 Performance being priced below Model 3 Long Range after the $7,500 EV tax credit, which goes off invoice starting today. In Gary Black's uniformed guess, we could see Tesla price reductions of up to $4,500 on Model 3 rear-wheel drive and long range, offset by $1,500 to $2,000 price increases on the Model 3 Performance and all Model Y trims. This would be roughly revenue neutral and realign the US pricing matrix as it was before on January 1st. I believe Tesla will ultimately find a way to recapture at least half of the $7,500 EV credit lost on Model 3 rear-wheel drive and long range as 4680 battery production continues to ramp, which would allow more Panasonic 2170 cells made in North America to be used in Model 3 trims. Source of Tesla's battery chart from Troy Tesla. Now, this is pretty interesting. I don't know if this is actually going to happen. I think Tesla's probably been working on establishing at least half the credit back or the full credit for a while now. This is no surprise that Tesla was going to lose the credit on the Model 3 lower price variants. This was not a surprise. So either this happens that Gary Black's talking about, and it could be a while before we see that credit come back if Tesla really does raise prices on, the Model Y, and, cut prices for the Model 3. I mean, I don't see that happening, but it is a possibility. If it does happen, expect it's going to be 6 or 12 months before Tesla regains the credit. If not, if nothing happens coming over the next couple of days, then Tesla probably regains the credit pretty shortly. France reported 9,572 Tesla sales and 5.3% market share for December. Tesla was the 6th best-selling brand. This was the best month ever, with 2% higher than the second best month. Best quarter ever. Year to date, you're up 216% versus last year's total. Spain reported 1,786 Tesla sales and 2.1% market share for December. This was the best December ever, the best quarter ever, and year to date, you're up 288%, with a good mix of both 52% being deliveries of the Model Y, and 47% of which being deliveries of the Model 3. Portugal reported 1,183 Tesla sales and 5.7% market share for December. Tesla was again the 6th best-selling brand, the best December ever, the best quarter ever, and year to date, you're up 357% of last year's total. And this is a chart of what Tesla's total deliveries are going to look like. Wow, that's pretty much stair-stepping every single year. It's hard to make the argument Tesla's growth is actually slowing down right now. And 2024 is very uncertain, but I would argue Tesla's likely to beat Wall Street's estimates by quite a big margin. But I will say at this moment in time, when you are getting into bigger numbers on a 12-month basis, you have to be making more factories. You have to be upgrading more factories. It's harder to go from, 1.8 million to 2.3 million than it is to go from 100,000 to 150,000 vehicles, right? Or go from 400,000 to 600,000. It's harder to achieve bigger growth numbers with a larger overall number. So keep that in mind. That is going to be a little bit of a problem or question that we have. We need a little bit more clarity on that we will get more clarity on starting here soon. Actually, when we get the first earnings call of 2024, we're going to get a lot more clarity on what production and ultimately deliveries are going to look like for 2024. Tesla Korea is working on a certification to launch the Model 3 Highland in the Korean market. Many Korean consumers are waiting for Highland vehicles. In addition to the Model 3, Model Y long range and performance made in Giga Shanghai, which will be imported. This ex-user, Paul Mangamel, he writes this post essentially 48 hours after he took delivery of his Cybertruck. Elon Musk commented on this as well. But I do want to read you guys this post because, I think it says a lot for the upcoming halo effect and potentially the awareness to the Tesla brand that we're going to see. He says, 24 or 48 hours of a reflection, essentially, of owning the Cybertruck. He says, number one, I knew this truck would have some degree of wow factor, but I don't think I appreciated how insane reactions would be. It would be easier to count the cars/people that don't take pictures. I even had a McLaren maneuver around a few lanes to film the truck. I think I'd get less attention in a Bugatti. I've owned 7 Teslas since 2018, 3 Model Ys, and this truck is unbelievably refined. The ride is smooth. Steer-by-wire makes a 7,000-pound truck glide. It looks incredible, but as more people experience this vehicle, you'll realize how the new tech comes together. I've never had a truck, nor have I considered one, but I'm surprised how practical and well thought out all of the space is. The back seats that fold up make for a perfect area for our 3 dogs. And also, not talked about enough in my opinion, this sound system is extraordinary. If you like music, this truck feels like a concert. Just make sure to adjust audio settings, subwoofers up. Oh, and it fits in the garage. And Elon Musk says we poured our heart and soul into that truck. And Elon Musk writes this post, let's effing go. 2024 already viewed by 32.1 million people. We'll go ahead and repost that and hit the like. In addition to Tesla China's new 6,000 won insurance subsidy, the Model S and X offers low interest rate policy of at least 1.99%, and the Model 3 and Model Y also offers 2.5% financing. So much more attractive rates than what we're seeing in the US, that's for sure. If we take a look at Google Trends data for the Cybertruck, it's staying pretty much the same in the high 20s, about 27 or 28 right now. The Model 3 and the Model Y staying as well, unchanged at 34 for the Model 3 and the Model Y at 32. And Tesla continues to run 400 different ads via Google. Tesla's global inventory numbers just shot up big time for the Model Y. Not exactly sure if this is a real data print that we're getting, but it looks like Model Y inventories went from 2,700 to about 4,500 overnight. That sounds pretty illogical to me, but it looks like nonetheless you are seeing a little bit of a jump in Model Y inventories. Model 3 inventories going from about 846 now to about 1,100, which is actually pretty good considering the Model 3 is at the lowest inventory numbers you have seen basically throughout all of 2023. Model S and Model X inventory numbers look very low still. As we head into the first trading day of 2024 tomorrow, markets are currently pricing in 7 rate cuts for 2024 with 38.6% probabilities. 6 rate cuts is currently priced at 35.7%. 10-year treasury yield sitting at 3.86%. And really, the bottom line to Tesla stock is Tesla should perform very well in 2024. My expectation is a rally of about 80%. And that might sound crazy, but an 80% rally from here would take Tesla stock to about $450 per share. But we could rally even higher than that, into the 500s or low 600s, in my personal opinion. The big question is, do we avoid a recession, or do we avoid recession fears? Fears of a recession typically cause stocks to fall, not the actual recession itself. So as long as current trends in the economy continue showing pretty robust growth, then Tesla stock should continue going higher. But then again, markets have pretty much went straight up since October as expected. This was, exactly what I expected. You had a long-term cup and handle formation. You had the handle. You got the breakout back here in early November. I expected markets would go much higher following that. That's exactly what happened. It was not a big shocker or a big surprise. But at this point, we do need to be bracing for some form of pullback and correction of this massive rally that we have seen. It doesn't look likely that'll happen, at least to start 2024, but it is a possibility at any time now. I could make an argument that interest rate sensitive names, small and mid cap stocks, may actually just continue higher, as Tom Lee thinks small cap stocks could rally every single month of 2024, rallying about 50% in total. If small caps rally 50% because of interest rate sensitivity, if Tesla can put up some numbers and the economy does avoid a recession itself or recession fears, well, Tesla stock could probably double that, could probably rally another 100%. But it is unclear if Tesla would follow interest rate sensitive names. If the markets pull back, Tesla stock, if it followed your small caps, could continue to rally higher as money flows out of Magnificent Seven names into Tesla, into small cap stocks. Does that scenario play out? Or does the scenario play out where Tesla is grouped in with the Magnificent Seven names and Tesla falls if the broader indexes fall? I think that's a question that we still don't have just yet. Because theoretically, the triple Qs or the SPY could fall if Magnificent Seven names get sold off, because they're richly valued right now. If that capital made its way into other names, well, the rest of the markets could actually do very well. But let's say Apple and Microsoft, Google, Amazon, let's say, for an example, those stocks were down 2% on any given day. The SPY and the triple Qs are going to look pretty red. But you could have a PayPal up 3%. You could have a Palantir up 2%. You could have a Tesla up 4%. And it just wouldn't be that reflected in the broader indexes because the market weighting is so low. So it's a little bit kind of tricky right now trying to forecast what will happen in that regard when it comes to a pullback, but be expecting some form of pullback here in the first couple of weeks of 2024. In the next video, we will go over a price prediction for Tesla stock this upcoming week. As you know, it's going to be a big week because we get delivery numbers coming out tomorrow. The possibility for a lot of capital to rotate, maybe from big tech into small cap, or maybe from money market funds back into stocks. There's going to be a lot of volatility this week. That's my expectations. We do have some big data as well that will amplify what, I already expect to happen anyways. So we'll talk about that at 8:30 p.m. here tonight. But that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. What are your opinions down below in the comments section? If you guys want to come trade with us live in real time for all of 2024, check out that link down below in the description of this video. You guys have a great rest of your day. My name is Michael Tyler, and I will see you in the next one.